We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.
ADHD sounds driving me crazy. I don't wanna take this, you're gonna have to make me. ADHD, I don't wanna take this, I feel like I've been slavery. No, life is take me.
Welcome to Hooligan Radio, the movie podcast that has video games and true crimes and cryptids and all that kind of good stuff. I have my co-host here, Zach and Josh.
What is up?
How are you, Josh?
Yo, today is one of those days where I'm just glad I can come home and crack open a White Claw.
Ooh, a sweet, sweet White Claw. Did you see that there's a shortage?
Yeah. Luckily, my fridge is already packed.
Well,
there's not really a storage. They're just saying that so that you can go out and buy the White Claw.
Leave it to the conspiracy guy to be out here making conspiracies. Also, you just have to go to less popular stores and you'll find it. Like I went to Mark's and there was enough White Claw in there to kill 600 men.
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of like a backhanded compliment at Mark's there.
Yeah.
I mean,
or at least survive a weekend with us.
We all know that Mr. Glassman is not the best businessman. On this week's episode, we're going to be giving you a rundown of all the video games that are going to be coming out here at the end of the year. Maybe you're looking for a gift for a significant other who plays video games, or maybe you're just a gamer who's like, how do I keep it all straight? Don't worry, I got you. I have all the games, the good games that are going to come out, all in a list, and we're going to talk about each one of them. I'll even get the input from the guys to see if they have any games that they want, but I know that I got them covered. I got them covered in this list. It's comprehensive. But, as always, we're going to start off with news. Who wants to start with news? I pick you, Zach.
Ooh, me? Alright, let's do this. So, over the last week, essentially and I can't remember the exact university that came out, but there was research done, and they believed that the Loch Ness Monster is an eel. Is a big, big eel.
Interesting.
So essentially what they did is they did this thing called environmental DNA, where essentially they take samples of Loch Ness's water and they pick it apart to find different DNA strands as well as just different factors in it, and that tries to lead them to what exactly is in Loch Ness and what the Loch Ness Monster could actually be. And essentially what they found out at the end of the day is that they believe that the Loch Ness Monster is in fact real, but it is a huge eel instead of a plesiosaur.
So are they admitting that they think it exists today?
So it's hard to say from the articles I read if they're saying that they actually believe that the Loch Ness Monster is still alive and kicking, but they at least believe that all of the sightings that have come around Loch Ness is due to a giant eel. Whether that giant eel is still alive or if it's possibly dead now, that's not really said in the article exactly. But unfortunately, and I'm probably under one of these people in this column for these people as well, not a lot of people are taking kind to this, saying that the Loch Ness Monster is an eel.
Do you think that the Loch Ness Monster's relatives sent in a little bit of their data to 23andMe, so now
so we can see all the crimes the Loch Ness Monster has committed over its 300 years?
Yeah, man.
100%.
But
I'm still going with it being a plesiosaur. I think that's the most realistic theory. A plesiosaur that somehow got trapped into Loch Ness, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they actually did also like a little survey, mainly in Scotland, where they're trying, and they asked like a lot of the locals, like, what do you believe this is in? A lot of them do believe it's this marine type dinosaur, like a plesiosaur. A couple other fun ones that I saw here as well was several people believe that it might be some sort of dragon, which could also fall under the cryptid category. Another one that I actually really enjoyed was that it's just a really, really big catfish, which that one I would probably enjoy seeing, to be honest.
Catfish are so derpy, it would be amazing if it was just a huge catfish. Like, look at that little derp.
I think I would be more scared of a giant catfish coming up with that derp face than actually seeing a real life plesiosaur, to be honest.
Debatable. I'd be like, dude, you could make some good catfish dinner out of that big ass boy.
I just see that one Loch Ness, pretty much the Loch Ness like souvenir person that's standing outside of Loch Ness, getting everybody with the Loch Ness plushies. I've seen Loch Ness T-shirts, just sitting there, just like, yeah, it's not an eel. You can't say that. My business is ruined if it's an eel.
No way, man. You gotta roll with the punches when you're in that business, dude. You just gotta start buying like eels, like actual baby eels, and sell them in the tank and be like Loch Ness babies, bro.
Yeah, but the one thing that a lot of people are fighting back about with this article is that there definitely is eels in Loch Ness. That's not like fabricated or anything like that. It's a proven fact that eels have lived in Loch Ness. So they really just think that this is just a lot of remnants of all of the eels that have lived in it over the hundreds of years, pretty much influencing it, making them think it's just a large eel. So it's the jury's still out on it, though, whether the Loch Ness monster is truly, in fact, the sort of plesiosaur, or it could be something as simple as a huge mutated creature that we just haven't identified yet.
It's probably the huge mutated creature we haven't identified yet, but
which again is still really cool at the end of the day. But
yeah, it's cool either way.
So we see it, we won't know.
All right. What about you, Josh? Well, actually, I want to go. Can I go?
Okay.
Take that, Josh.
Yeah.
All right. So I had some very shocking news sent to me directly, which is weird normally, because normally I'm the one who sends everybody the weird, shocking news in the gaming sphere. So I was caught off guard, but the U.S. Army has started an esports team. Yes.
I saw this. This is actually... I didn't know it was a team, though. That's really cool.
Right. But on Facebook, they have some sponsored advertisements, probably targeted towards gamers, that they're hosting a Rocket League tournament. The U.S. Army is hosting a Rocket League tournament. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was going to talk about that this week. And then yesterday, somebody brought to my attention that they actually have a team, and that the U.S. Army Recruiting Command is currently seeking soldiers to become part of the new U.S. Army esports team.
Well, I mean, I would imagine, yeah, they have other sports teams, right? I mean, they have college football and everything, so why not esports? That seems like a natural progression.
Yeah, but you would assume that they would be one of the last colleges to fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like, if there's anything that is stuck in tradition, in traditional ways, it's the military, I would say.
The military of the United States.
Well,
yeah.
I guess maybe not as much as we think.
Maybe that could be true. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the article here that they have on the army.mil website. The team is being developed to compete at local, regional, and national level on the behalf of the U.S. Army. The teams will build awareness of skills that can be used as professional soldiers in their gaming knowledge to be more relatable to you. So honestly, it's going to be more of a marketing ploy to get people to join the military. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there who are like trying to become professional gamers, and it looks like the U.S. Army esports team is kind of like trying to get some of those people to say, hey, if you're this good at gaming, some of those skills might translate to doing this in the Army or this in the Army, which is fascinating to me.
That actually really is fascinating. Did they, by chance, mention in the article what those skill sets or what those jobs in the Army were that would be pretty much highlighted by playing video games?
I don't see anything. It just kind of says more about the team, not about like what the skills are there. It says here, if they're going to be successful in recruiting, this was an obvious step for them to make. Did they also say, so is this something that's within the United States military, or am I going to be able to watch on Twitch the United States Army face Britain's army in like
a game of League.
I think that it's going to be more like what Josh was saying, where it's like the United States Army is going to face OSU in games of League or stuff like that, or Rocket League, or... I was talking with somebody today, and they were like, how ironic would it be if, like, you went up against the U.S. Army in Call of Duty and you beat them? And I was like, yeah.
I think that might be one game they have to just stray away from solely for that fact.
Solely for that fact that they cannot get beat by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
I would love
like...
to see a war literally be decided on the video game world.
That's what I was going to say.
Amazing.
We eventually just stop having wars, and it's just League.
Yeah, instead of killing people, you just have a huge battle royale.
It's just a 7-game series. Each game in the series is a different game. The winner takes all.
It takes all, and by that, they take your country.
It's interesting here. So it says soldiers selected to the team will be assigned to the Marketing and Engagement Brigade at Fort Knox for 3 years and will involve constant competitive training, recruiting engagements, and an interaction with the public on a daily basis. So this literally is the fucking dream job of being in the military. Like, you get through boot camp, and then you prove that you're a good enough gamer. Then you get to go to Fort Knox and play video games for 3 years, and that is what you're supposed to do. You're just only supposed to involve constant competitive training.
That's insane.
So, and then after 3 years, I'm pretty sure your first year would be training or on a military job or something like that. Then you do your 3 years, and then you're out, and then you get your GI Bill. You can go to college for free. This is an incredible opportunity for those who are looking to go into the U.S. Army and are potentially gamers.
Is it only the Army? Like, is the Navy or, like, the Marines getting involved in this? Does it mention?
It does not mention in here, but I doubt that the U.S. Army website would say anything about the other branches also doing this, but let's look. Esports.
That's just insane. I couldn't even imagine. So, like, we just talked with Bobby a couple podcasts ago about how more and more colleges are starting to offer scholarships for esports. Just the fact that the U.S. Army now is using this exact same ploy essentially is amazing to me.
There's a military gaming league, an esports league for military veterans and service members, but I'm not seeing anything for any of the other teams. I would be very interested in seeing. Let's check right now. Maybe we can pull. Ooh. Should we? No, we're good. I was gonna say, do we pull a guest in here to see what their insight in it is? But I think we'll just keep it out for now. Maybe we'll pull a guest in later.
I mean, I would definitely like to get updates on this. This is super interesting.
Yeah, I think that it's baffling to me that, like, because there's so many people. I come from a military family. There's so many people from my military family that think gaming is the, like, fucking bane of existence. Now that the military is like, hell yeah, gaming. Like, oh shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. That would have been it.
I joined the Army. I'm part of their esports team.
That would have been it. If the Marines would have been like, yo, we're starting an MLG Call of Duty team. If you get into the Marines and then get on this team, we're gonna pay you to go to be on the Call of Duty team. I'd be like, all right, I'm in. Fuck
right,
college, bro. I'm about to get that GI Bill. About to go for free. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's like some of the most interesting news that I saw this week in the gaming sphere. What about you, Josh? What do you got going on this week for news?
All right, so Disney Plus came out and announced that for all of their original Disney Plus series, they're going to be doing traditional TV style weekly episodes. They are not doing the Netflix binge model where it's just a whole season released at once. They're going to be doing it weekly. It seems like they said it's for all of their shows. I can't confirm that if it's for all of them, but I think that's what they said. This has been tested on Hulu with a number of shows, but it looks like they're going all in with Disney Plus. What do you guys think of that, going back to the weekly show model rather than the Netflix binge model?
I love that, to be honest, but I feel like that's just because I'm a sucker for, like, the anticipation of waiting for the next episode and the build-up, and actually being able to leave a cliffhanger.
That's why you should watch anime, Zach, because you're just like, I can't wait to cliffhang. My thing is, like, this kind of just, I feel like this is going to drive some people to just wait until like, because I'm gonna guess that all of these Disney original shows are probably gonna have like anywhere between 12 episodes a season, maybe less, to probably at max 25, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you wait? Like, I'm going to guess that there's some people who are going to wait to get it, right? Instead of getting it right away, just wait so that you start to build up a catalog of things that you could just binge. Because people love binging.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of. It's like well, a regular show on TV, right? You can wait till the season's over and then wait for it to go on Hulu or Netflix. I think that's a good point. I am kind of with Zach. Like, I've been like lately being like, you know, damn, I wish I just had a show like when I came home from work that I knew was on a certain day. You know what I mean? Like, all I have is football. I know it's on Thursdays and Mondays. But
That's
like
why I
beyond
love 9-9, bro.
but it's like I don't really watch any actual shows on TV right now. So it's like I go on Netflix, everything's just so overwhelming. It's like I don't want to jump into this and binge this right now. You know, I still haven't watched Mindhunter season 2 because of that. So I go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it seems like Netflix gets into the same routine where they leave the cliffhanger on the end of the season, and they're like, okay, well, you got to wait till a full year to a year and a half to see this. Where cable has that thing of being able to leave episodes on multiple cliffhangers throughout the series, and sometimes you can even get an ending for a season that's pretty. Yeah, it's a cliffhanger, but it's at least satisfactory enough to where you're like, okay, I can settle with that. And then it just opens up for something new. So I think that's what Netflix is losing.
I think that the unsung reasoning that could be behind this, other than like Disney knows how people's brains work and they obviously have made a choice for a reason, is if you release your episodes weekly, you can have less of an IT infrastructure compared to where when Netflix releases something like Stranger Things, they need to be ready to have hundreds of, possibly millions of people the first fucking day or the second day just like coming to their service and streaming it. Compared to where if you drop your WandaVision on Monday, it's not guaranteed everybody's going to watch it on Monday. Right? There's going to be people who are busy on Monday and they watch it on Wednesday or something like that. So I think it could be potentially cheaper from an upkeep standpoint to do all of your shows like that, unless they release every single Disney Plus original show on the same fucking day. And it's just on Monday, everybody comes in and is like, I'm watching 20 different shows. You're like, oh, holy shit.
It does make me wonder, like, are they going to have scheduled times too? Like, if I go into my Disney Plus at, after work, is it going to be like come back at 8 o'clock for the new episode of WandaVision? I think it's interesting, to see how that's going to go. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that's interesting, and it's almost here. November it comes out, so we're actually going to be doing another top 3 this week. Top 3 ways it's fall. But first, I just came across this. It's actually in the gaming sphere, and I feel like we need to talk about this real quick. So, apparently it's National Video Games Day, the day that we're recording this. I wasn't aware of that, but IGN just tweeted their top 10 video games of all time. And I feel like we need to just briefly go over this list real quick.
Yeah, I think that might be. We got to go through that.
It's worth it. Let's do it.
So I'll just go really quick. So number 10, Super Mario 64. Number 9,
that's a low rating.
Number 9, Red Dead Redemption, the original.
Okay.
Number 8, Half-Life 2.
Okay, I can see that.
Can you please
number 7?
Sorry, I have to rant right now. Can you please just give us the third? This has been.
Zach.
Rumor jumped around forever. Like, I don't even. God.
It's not a rant if there's 7,000 YouTube videos on it being made at this very moment.
I just had a vent. I just had to let it out.
And then number 7, Tetris, taking it old school there. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers 3. Number 5 is A Link to the Past.
Okay.
Number 4 is Super Metroid. Number 3 is Portal. Number 2, Ocarina of Time. And number 1, real quick, any guesses on what you guys think number 1
If
is?
it's not Modern Warfare 2, this list is fucking wrong.
God, I know what my number 1 is, but I know for a fact it's not that.
It's Super Mario World.
All right,
Damn,
that's
bro.
fair.
If you would have said Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, we would have not been able to record the rest of this episode. I would have flipped my fucking desk and been like, fuck yes, IGN, you fucking know!
You did it. Thank you.
What if number 1 had been Call of Duty Ghosts?
I would have also flipped my desk and I would have been like, fuck you, IGN!
Yeah, that would have just been a bad flip there.
So what do you guys, Isaiah obviously, but Zach as well, what do you guys think of that top 10 list?
I mean,
I think it's
you
bad.
really can't argue against any of a lot of those games, but
I think that you can't argue about those games being in there, but I think that their order is wrong. I think that 64 is definitely a top 5.
yeah, that one's just so iconic.
I think you could swap 64 with Super Metroid and probably be in a good spot. I never played Half-Life 2. I've heard amazing things about it. I get it. Everybody's going to be like, no, it can't be a gamer never played that game. Listen.
Shut up.
Fuck you.
So how about 2 Zelda games being on the list in the top 5?
Ocarina of Time is probably
Amazing.
the best game in the Zelda franchise, I think, personally. A Link to the Past.
What was that, Zelda 2 or 3?
I think that's Zelda 2.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
I think it's actually Zelda 3 because Zelda 2 is like a Legend of
Isn't
Link.
that Link's Adventure?
Yeah, Legend of Link or Link's Adventure or something like that.
But from what I know, A Link to the Past is actually like a prequel. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, dude. I've tried to watch videos on the timeline of The Legend of Zelda, and it was like, okay, well, I'd much rather try to understand what's happening in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. All I know is I tried to play Link to the Past on my mini NES, and I got like 20 minutes in. I'm like, this is too hard.
I'm done. Goodbye.
I can't play old games. Sorry.
Sorry, make the game easier.
But also, speaking of old games, nothing on this list. I mean, what's the newest game on this list? Half-Life 2 or Portal? I'm not sure which one's newer, but Red Dead Redemption, I guess, is also newer. But
Red Dead Redemption might be the newest one out of that entire list.
I think you're right.
but no Halos, no Call of Duties, no Madden.
Okay, well, relax.
Madden 2006.
What if it was like Madden 1997? We'd be like, probably.
It's like, oh, okay. All right, well, that was fun. Maybe we'll revisit that
What's
soon.
the matter with Michael Vick? That one should be on there.
04.
All right.
But,
right.
Okay, to get on my actual topic here, we're doing another top 3 just because I love to do them. We're doing top 3 ways you know it's fall. Now, we're Ohio boys, so we get to experience all of the seasons here. And we're basically, this is going to be top 3, just like you see this, you experience this, and you're like, you know what? It's fall. I now know it's fall because of this. Zach, you're up first this week, and then it'll be me and then Isaiah.
Yes.
So, Zach, what's your first pick for you know it's fall?
Well, easily right off the bat is the leaves changing. If you do, being in Ohio, you get to see the beautiful leaves change from green, orange to yellow, all that good stuff. Usually that's when I really know that it's fall, is that when you look outside and you start to see all the leaves change.
That's fair. I would probably go number 1. I'd probably go, it's probably mostly over like the last decade or so, everything being pumpkin. It started with just coffee, but now it's like literally September 1st, you can get anything you want in pumpkin. Cream
And you
cheese,
want to know what?
cereal.
I'm not complaining. It's the best.
Oh, I love it.
I am
I
literally
love
that
pumpkin.
pumpkin spice fanboy that
Dude, same.
gets it
I
when
started,
the second you see it hit that market.
Fuck.
I started getting a pumpkin coffees like in the middle of August.
I have 2 pumpkin spice creamers in my fridge right now.
All right, Isaiah, you get 2 in a row.
So I would say the number one thing that gets me is when I see people wearing hoodies. That's when I know. I'm like, hoodie
Yeah,
season.
that was on my
bro.
list.
Hoodie season, that's what it's all about. But you want to know what really tells me that it's fall? When I constantly, every single week, get a text message notification from my bank saying that my balance is below $100 because it's fucking gaming season, bro. It's like game after game after game. How am I supposed to spend $60 every week when I only get paid every 2?
That's a good one. That's very true. Number 2 for me, kind of going off the hoodie thing. This one as well. You know it's fall when you start to realize that you're going to have to wear socks every day because you start to go outside with your flip-flops on and your toes are freezing. So it's like, you know what? every day moving forward, I'm going to have to put socks on. I haven't worn socks in like 4 months. I'm going to have to start. It's kind of a negative realization of fall.
That's fair. Or you could be that one person who just refuses to accept it and wears shorts way too long.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm a shorts guy. I wear shorts all year round, but socks, I cave in. My toes can't take it, but my large thighs can last through the winter.
Nice.
So, Zagar, you got 2 in a row.
All right, let's see here. I think another good indicator of fall, for me at least, is when you start to see all of the, and this is going to sound bad, not too bad, but unfortunately it's just getting that time of the year. Like you brought up with the pumpkin spice getting earlier and earlier every year. Halfway through September, early October, you start to see the holiday stuff coming out. Start to see all the deals coming out for Black Friday. And unfortunately, it's just getting so commercialized that it just follows so quick.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
already seeing Christmas stuff.
Are you really? That's insane. I've lucked out. I haven't seen any of that just yet. The very last thing, how I know it's fall, is leaving to go to work Monday. Sad every single week after seeing the Browns lose, and unfortunately, we did that last week.
Yeah. That was what my last one was going to be. I was like, when the factory of sadness starts pumping out its main product every weekend, oh, that's how I know it's fall.
Hopefully we're on the change, but at least since I've been alive, it's been that constantly.
Yeah, making Mondays even worse than they already are. That was actually going to be my last one. I was going to say, in a more positive sense, just football every weekend. But since you kind of took that one, Zach, I'm going to go with kind of not the negative of seeing the holidays, but the positive of it being spooky season and Halloween starts to roll around. My favorite holiday of the year. Everything starts to, all the horror movies start kind of coming out. You can start to have your horror movie marathons. You can turn on like AMC any day of the week and they're playing a classic horror movie. That's my favorite part of the fall, probably, is having it be the season of horror. I'm going to Halloween weekends this weekend at Cedar Point, America's Rock and Roller Coaster. That's how you know it's fall right there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to call a Omaha on the play for my third one. I'm gonna have to go with, and it's just gonna, it's so degrading of me to say, but flannel and yoga pants season is my shit, boys. That's how you know, bro. That's how you know. That's how you know.
Wear flannels. Like, it doesn't even have to be that season.
It's better in that season, though. You don't want to be wearing a flannel when it's 110.
Then you were like, that person's crazy. AKA Zach. Zach's probably wearing a flannel right now. It's 80 degrees.
Yeah, he has no pants on, but he's wearing a flannel.
No pants, just flannel.
So, all right, so honorable mentions. I was going to kind of say, off of what Isaiah said, just being able to wear a sweater every day, my favorite clothing item, just a hoodie, a sweater. That's just always a comfortable item to wear outside. So I love that about the fall.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about that Adidas track jacket during this kind of weather, bro. All different colors. Oh, it's so good. Got to show them stripes, my guy.
I think another one, or I should say an honorable mention for me, is that fall is essentially kicks off hat season for me.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, hats, beanies.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I would say another one is when you're driving your car and there's all the piles of leaves from people raking their leaves like up on the curb of the road, and like you just have that urge to just drive into the pile of leaves, but you don't do it because there might be like a kid in there. But you just have that urge.
What?
Oh, is that why people don't do it? I have been blasting through piles of leaves.
Is that a common urge that I should be having?
Yeah, you should see piles of leaves and you should be like, man, I'm gonna fuck those fucking leaves up, bro.
All right, Zach, more relatable. You're walking past a pile of leaves and you're like, I could do a front into those leaves right now. That's relatable.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong. Leaves fall was great when we used to do parkour because we at least were able to make a makeshift mat to save our knees.
Yeah, just rake some leaves together. You don't need a gym mat.
You know, another thing that's good about fall is it's the beginning of the end of motorcycle season. I fucking
yes.
What?
It's like
you hate motorcycles?
I like motorcycles as a thing. Motorcycles, cool. Those are dope. People who ride motorcycles and think that that's the coolest fucking thing of all time, That kills me. When they're
All right,
just
that's
like,
understandable.
when they're just
Some of
like,
them
look
get
how
that.
loud my fucking hog is, bro. I'm like,
I'm literally friends
suck
with
me
someone on
off.
Facebook, and I'm not going to drop the name. But if I see literally every single day, there's a picture of his motorcycle, and I'm just like, all right, listen, no one really fucking cares, buddy.
See, my problem is like
Another-
the area that I live in, like the bar that's closest to us when we hang out on the patio, and it's just like over and over again. It's just these fucking dudes on their motorcycles, like, bling! I'm just like, dude, fuck you.
Yeah, another driving one, when you're going through a school zone and you actually have to start paying attention and going the speed limit of the school zone because it's not summer anymore. That's probably the worst part when you know it's fall.
See it, play it, skip it. See it, play it, skip it. See it, play it, skip it.
All right,
Who's
this time I
starting?
get to choose who goes first, and I'm going Josh.
All right, so I saw it chapter 2. Zach's going to talk more about that. I'll kind of say stuff there because I actually don't have a ton to say about it because it's just like I'll get to it. But 13 Reasons Why, probably both the worst, kind of like the segment we just did, both the worst and the most entertaining show on television. And me and Haley watched it. Big fans of season 1. Season 2 I didn't like as much, but then they announced Bryce was killed for season 3, so we were hooked right back in. And man, talk about great like MTV trash TV, like just dramatized to the 10th degree. I loved it, man.
Yeah, I kind of pieced out after the first season of 13 Reasons Why. I was like, okay, that was fucking crazy.
The
That was
first
like-
season left me not in a good place.
Yeah, that was how a lot of people reacted.
You okay?
What?
Were you okay?
Well, no, I made the mistake of not being sober for, I believe it was the very last episode, where essentially she actually shows her committing suicide, unfortunately.
Which
And
they
I was-
removed.
Yeah, and they removed that?
Yeah, they actually went back and removed it. Yeah.
Dude.
God. But I watched that, and Not Sober Zach was not having a good time after that. I was just like,
Understandable.
oh, and I'm pretty sure I just curled up into the ball on the couch with everybody around me, and I was like, I'm going to be here for a while.
Yeah, there was, after all of the articles came out about how like it was glorifying suicide and all this kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. So I didn't watch the second season, but you said the second season wasn't all that good.
I didn't care for it because like the second season was more like it was like just the aftermath of the first season. There wasn't like that engaging of a story, introduced. But this third season, it's like they just went all in, like, you know what, fuck it, everyone talks shit about our show anyway. Let's just throw in every like major controversial issue. Like it's just everything's in there that you could ever possibly experience in high school, like bullying, murder, drugs, people being made fun of for their sexuality or their race, just anything any controversial issue, gun safety, just everything's thrown in there and so like glossed over without any nuance. That's why it's just terrible, but it's awesome to watch.
It's terrible.
If I'm
and
not,
awesome
I could be
to watch.
wrong, but isn't the second, because the first one was off a book, correct?
Yes, just the first season.
Yeah, so the second one's technically has no like candid with the book.
Yeah, if I'm correct, neither the second or the third, they're just doing their own thing after the first season.
Interesting.
But yeah, if you're into that, watch it.
I'm not, so I won't. All right, I'm going to go so that you guys can fangirl about it, Chapter 2, after this. So, last week, since this comes out on Mondays, Tuesday, I don't know when it comes out. Gears 5 dropped on PC and Xbox. And also, it is free on the Xbox Game Pass, which I have probably tried to sell to you guys 100 times over. And that's really what I've been playing. It feels like a Gears game, obviously. I haven't got to play Horde because I don't really want to play with randoms, and I don't really know anybody who's playing it currently. But for $5 a month, or I don't know if it's $5 or $10 a month for Xbox Game Pass for PC, it's really like worth it in my opinion, because like, how long am I really gonna play Gears? Am I gonna get at least $5 worth out of it this month? Probably. So, and then there's all the other games on there too. So Gears 5, I would say that's definitely a play it if you have access to it. Just realize I got it for $5, so I didn't pay the whole $60 to get it. So I wasn't really pressed to make it the best game of all time. And other than that, I've moved into my new place. So we are in the new Hooligan Studio. We talked about that last week. And of course, the best way to bond with your roommates is find a new Netflix series to watch whenever you guys are all hanging out. And we started watching Hyperdrive. Have you guys watched this yet?
I have not, but I think I did hear about it or saw a trailer, but I haven't watched it.
Hyperdrive is like if you took Ninja Warrior and Wipeout and you added cars. It is fucking crazy. What? Yeah. So there's like a racetrack that they change for every round. And there's like different shit that they have to do, like different obstacles and stuff. And there's like different racers. And they actually import the racers from whatever country around the world they come from. And they get to bring their car with them. So they are actually driving their car the way that they would. And it is crazy. It's hella dramatic. It's a Netflix original series, so it's got they tried to apply the Netflix formula of forcing people to binge into I don't know if those are considered game shows like American Ninja Warrior or anything like that. So it's got some weird breaks in it. Like when you finish an episode, there could be just like one person from the earlier round to go the next episode. So you kind of like want to watch it and all that kind of stuff. So they kind of try to keep you hooked. But I definitely say that it's a watch it. It's so good if you're like into cars at all or racing at all. I would highly recommend checking it out. It's very interesting to me.
I did see the trailer for that because it's actually Charlize Theron, the actress, is she's the one that produced that show. Basically, that's how I heard about it. So I'll definitely check it out.
That made me think of one of my all-time favorite finds on Netflix, which I unfortunately don't think the show is on anymore. But it was called Canada's Worst Drivers, and there was like 7 to 8 seasons of it, and it was literally like people who did not know how to drive or were essentially scared to drive, so they couldn't drive essentially at the end of the day, and they had them do the most ridiculous challenges. They'd be like, all right, we're going to teach you this week how to stay in the lines, and then it'll be like, all right, now for the challenge you have to stay on these lines, and if you don't, your car will fall off this bridge, but like you'll be saved. Like
trust us, you'll be saved.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell does this even mean? But it was so entertaining. I got sucked into it.
I would say that the one downfall of Hyperdrive is they have 4 shoutcasters for it. So like their like casting is kind of overwhelming, but I watch it with 2 other people, so I kind of just turn it down and we just talk about it over it anyway.
You get to commentate yourselves. Yeah.
But one of the commentators / shoutcaster is Michael Brisbane from fucking the UFC. So he's just absurd. It is so weird. Like we keep the subtitles on in this house because we are men of God.
And that's the reason.
And I just love reading it. Just like says Brisbane, and then just some wild shit, and I'm just like, God damn it! Like, you went from fighting in the UFC to just yelling about cars.
Seems like a natural progression,
right? But yeah, so that's really what I'm on right now. In chapter 2, guys, how was it? I haven't seen it, but it
was great.
Don't know if I'm gonna see it. So
I think it's at least worth a watch. It's definitely a see it in my category. What about you, Josh?
Oh yeah, it's a see it, but it's just I'm so burnt out on long movies this year. I can't do anymore. This was my last one.
See, I have to give this one credit, and just like the Avengers, I felt like this did not seem long to me. To where I went and saw it pretty late, but I left and I was like, okay, this was probably a good hour and a half, close to 2-hour movie. And then realized that it was really closer to 3 hours. I was pretty amazed. I actually went into this movie not hearing a lot of good stuff about it. I only heard 2 reviews going into it. and both of them were pretty negative. But I think it's just due to the people that were telling me that. I thought it wasn't as jump scary as the first, which I really enjoyed. But the one thing I really did enjoy about this movie is that the animation and all of the creatures, as well as the Pennywise the clown, just was a lot more disturbing in this one. It was a lot more scarier, and it wasn't one of those jump scares where you see it for a second and then you're like, okay, I'm done. It would keep it on the screen for you, and you'd be like, oh god, like staring at it.
That's interesting. I probably will see it due to your guys' recommendations. I just don't want to go see it by myself. It doesn't give me enough drive like an Avengers movie where I'm like, I gotta go see it by myself. So
also, Bill Hader, who's in it, he did great. I was a little bit worried about him because I've only seen him in comedies. In that goofy role, he still had a goofy role in this movie, but when he needed to be serious, he knocked it out of the park.
Isn't he the grown-up version of the kid from Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Which, if you haven't seen the first one, or like recently, like it was a year since I've seen the first one, when they were showing all of the adults, I'm like, I have no idea who half these people are supposed to be. Or like they would be like, oh, this is John. I can't remember any of their names. And I'll be like, cool, I don't remember who that is. Like, please, like, give me a side-by-side, which they eventually do.
Yeah, so I gotta agree first off with what you said, Zach. Right from the jump, this is a much more disturbing, dark movie. Like, they go for it. I think they were given the like a longer leash because the first one did so well. Like, kids get straight up slaughtered in this movie. Like, I won't spoil anything specifically, but just the first scene under the bridge, Zach, you know what I'm talking about. Just right from the beginning, you know, Pennywise is just a more evil, brutal, you know, demon-like character in this movie. It kind of fits. It kind of makes sense because, you know, when he's battling the kids in the first one, he's like kind of playful, and it's like he does this every 30 years. He's never encountered a problem, but now he's pissed, right? Because the kids beat him up. So in this movie, he's like, I'm fucking here to fucking kill people. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm tired of playing around. I'm just gonna do my job and get this over with.
Yeah, and he's still playful and, you know, acts like a clown, but but I'm totally with you. I was shocked, honestly, at how brutal it was. Not necessarily like a gory fashion, but just they really go for it. Beyond that, I just feel like I have to see this movie again before I like have more thoughts about it, because like I loved the first movie so much, and this movie I liked, but I don't know if like it's really not even on the same level to me as the first one. First one's like one I'll watch 100 times. This one I might watch one or two more times, and that might be it, you know, in my lifetime. So I don't want to say it's disappointing because I knew the adult version wouldn't be as entertaining as the kids. I think this story just works better as a kid's story. But I will say, like you said, Bill Hader, James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, the Old Spice guy, whose name doesn't come to me, but really the whole cast did a great job. They all gave great performances. That really helped the movie out, I think. But it's just so long, and like there's that part in the middle of the movie where they kind of have to battle their own demons, and it just took forever, and you don't learn that much stuff. And they kept cutting back to flashbacks of when they were kids that summer. Like, here's some extra scenes of like basically that time in the first movie that didn't make it in, essentially. And every time they cut to it, I just was thinking, wow, I really love the first movie. You know what I mean? And then you go back to the adults, and you're like, okay, I'm in. Like, what's going on? So I'll definitely watch it again. It's 3 hours, so just be aware of that. But if you want to go see it, I definitely think it's worth a watch. But it's not anywhere to me as good as the first one.
Yeah, the first one's still better overall, but it's definitely great. One thing I do want to bring up, at least the first one to me, and I think they did a good part about this one, is during the first movie, or like the build up to it, I felt like they gave a little bit too much away in their trailers with it, to where you knew what was going to be happening in certain parts. And one thing that sticks with me is this. In the trailer for the second one, the big scene is where, I can't remember her name, but she goes back to her home. And essentially she gets like confronted with the older lady who's now living in her old apartment. And that part to me, I was just like, all right, I already know what's going to be happening here. I'm good. The old lady's going to be freaking out, naked, whatever. And that was probably one of the most frightening scenes in that entire movie, just visually, with how disturbing the character of the old lady was, with what you actually see that they hid from the trailer.
Yeah, they did do a great job hiding a lot of the scares from the trailer. I did appreciate that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have to throw this out there. You gotta put some respect on my name, Josh. That guy's name is Isaiah, the Old Spice guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Isaiah Mustafa.
You know, during that entire movie, I was like, this guy looks so familiar.
Yeah, he looks like me because we have the same name.
And
therefore, you look alike.
Yeah. Second, you said the Old Spice guy. I was like, damn, that is really what he's from.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Better throw some spec on it. That's the only other famous Isaiah I know. Because I'm
also,
famous.
One last thing I'll say. We talked about how it wasn't afraid to get brutal. Speaking of the Mike character, the Old Spice guy, it wasn't afraid to get weird either. Like, there were some scenes where they're talking about like the origin of Pennywise and how they have to kill Pennywise. The movie got freaking weird. And they weren't afraid to do that, which I was glad. It wasn't, they weren't afraid to be like, go deep into the novel. They didn't go as weird as like the novel brings in like a turtle that's God and all this weird stuff. It didn't go that far, but it wasn't afraid to, kind of get a little bit not as like mainstream or cookie cutter, I guess, as other horror movies.
We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy Vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.
So on this week's main topic, like I gave it the brief synopsis at the beginning, we're talking about games coming out here in the fall. Kind of behind on this episode because this is going to drop after kind of a couple of the big games are coming out, but we'll get it started. Starting in September, we have Gears 5 that dropped. I talked about how I've been playing it. Pretty good so far. Borderlands 3, when this episode comes out, Borderlands 3 will be out. It comes out tomorrow on Friday the 13th. For me, at least, it would be negative days from whenever you listen to this. And that's going to be incredible. They have over 1 billion guns. Are you guys interested in Borderlands 3?
Yes,
yeah,
without a doubt.
Are you getting it for PC, Zach, or are you going to get it for PlayStation?
PC.
Okay, cool.
Is it coming out on the Switch?
I don't believe so, but I can look.
It's probably going to be like every other game on the Switch, where you have to wait a solid year before it hits you.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC.
Ooh, Stadia. I thought you were going to say a solid year for it to load, because that's absolutely true.
Oh, yeah, that'll probably be true. Also dropping on September 13th is Daemon X Machina on the Switch, which is a mecha game that's coming out for the Switch. It's been part of the Nintendo advertising basically since the Switch came out. So I'm very excited to see that game. And I'm also very excited to see that PNC Bank Alert I was talking about on Monday once I buy 3 new games. I don't know if you guys are interested in this one. I feel like it's kind of niche. I'm very interested in it, but I'll probably have see it, play it, skip it for it coming in the future.
What would be like a good comp for it, like another game?
If you've ever seen the games like Armored Core, where you just kind of...
Armored Core used to be my shit.
Yeah, it's like a more Japanese version of Armored Core. So you pilot like a big robot, and you have to kill these huge monsters, and you can upgrade your robot. And
think of it as a watered-down Gundam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, except I think that this is going to be more exciting than whenever you... Because if you watch the Gundam series, it's pretty watered down in itself.
Yeah.
Oh, hot take.
I'm not even going to start this one. This is for another day.
Okay, and then we're gonna move on to an indie title called Untitled Goose Game. That's gonna drop on September 20th. This game, you play as a goose and you walk around this town and you can like squawk at people and do different things. Literally, I have no idea why, but this game is so appealing to me. I cannot wait to check it out when it drops. Have you guys seen anything on the Untitled Goose Game?
I've seen so little, but I'm so intrigued.
I'm so interested.
I'm just intrigued from your description.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The last trailer I saw, there's like a guy in his garden. He's putting up like a no goose sign, and the goose like walks up behind him and just like squawks at him and scares him, and he like falls. I don't know, dude. It seems very relaxing and also hilarious at the same time. So yeah, that is September 20th, and that is coming out for only the PC. So I'm going to guess that this will eventually make it to Switch if you wait long enough. It's normally how the indie titles go. But I'm probably not going to wait on this bad boy. I would say the last game that I'm really interested in seeing, and you guys might have anything else in here, is the Mario Kart Tour mobile game is supposed to drop on the 25th of September. The Nintendo mobile games are kind of hit or miss for me, but I guess they never miss, huh? Yeah, so they're bringing Mario Kart to the mobile device. I've seen very little about this. I knew that it was coming, but like anytime the trailers come on, I'm like, it's a mobile game. They're not going to show me the parts that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who knows? That might actually be cool if you like want to get in a Mario Kart race every once in a while, because you know how mobile games are about not playing too much and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I think this will be cool. The other Mario game, there's like a Mario World game that you could get on it where you like play generic Mario on your phone. That was kind of cool. The Dr. Mario game was kind of cool, but I kind of just play like the levels that they give you for free, and then I kind of like I'm out. I'm not really gonna pay for them because I'm the worst kind of consumer for this kind of shit. But whatever.
They have enough money.
Right. They're the Nintendo of the world. Moving on to my birth month, Destiny 2's huge DLC that everybody is patiently waiting with bated breath. Shadowkeep drops on the 1st. Do either of you guys, have you played Destiny 2, or do you still play Destiny 2? I have a few friends who still play.
I've actually seen pretty in-depth game like reviews of it just from people that I watch on YouTube. I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, I've played it myself, but I could not continue with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they actually have unlocked like recently your ability to like transfer your characters from platform to platform. So some of my friends who are finally building their gaming PCs, wink wink nudge nudge Ian, are getting to transfer over their characters and actually come to the world of KBM and play their Destiny, and they're going to get their huge expansion here on the 1st of October. And then on my actual birthday, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is dropping. The Ghost Recon games are always super interesting to me, but then they don't have the player base to kind of fill out and be interesting to me. So I'm excited to watch this one on Twitch. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I might, depending on how much love there is for the game. When it comes out. Have you seen anything about this?
Mm-mm.
No.
I think, I don't want to be wrong, but I think that the trailer I've seen is actually one of the people who are in the Ghost Recon program goes rogue, so you're Ghost Recon hunting a ghost, so he kind of knows all your tricks and all that kind of stuff. It's got an interesting plot, but we'll see how it actually plays out. For the Switch, they're releasing The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt is what it's called, and I think it comes with all the DLC. I don't even know if there is DLC in that game. I never made it that far. But this is allegedly one of the best games to ever be released. There's so many things. Yeah, there's so many things that people compare The Witcher 3 to. If you like the games that are kind of like Skyrim or stuff like that, this game is for you. How it's going to perform on the Switch? Questionable, at least, like you said. Long load times, probably. I don't know how it's going to look, but they wouldn't really releasing it, I guess, if it was going to be bad, but who knows? That comes out on October 15th. I already have it for PC, and I didn't beat it on PC, and putting it on my Switch is not going to help me beat it at all. Plus, I'd have to start over, and I don't want to do that. It's fine. But one of the games that I'm very highly anticipated and watching a bunch this weekend is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's coming out October 25th. The live multiplayer beta was this past weekend from whenever you get to hear this episode. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty clean. There's some audio issues, but it's beta, so maybe they'll get that ironed out before it comes out. Sometimes things kind of sound kind of muffled. But they have a whole new sound engine, so they might be able to get that figured out. You guys interested in the new Call of Duty?
Who is not?
Dude,
Yeah, it's on my list of games I just pre-order every year just because.
Just because you know. Zach, you and I are going to tear up 2v2s, bro, on PC.
Damn right we are.
We're going to Game Battles, bro. Catch us on Game Battles October 26th. We're
That site's
coming
still around?
for that head. Yeah, dude, why would it ever go away? People bet on Game Battles.
Oh, shit. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that.
I'm just going to bet on you guys every time.
Hell yeah.
I love the confidence
I like
you
the
have in
faith.
us. Do I believe it? No.
I just hope the added pressure doesn't get to you.
So
Never.
this is interesting. They're normally, I would say, from the age of, what age are you in ninth grade? 14? 15?
Yeah.
From
14.
the age of 14 to the age of 25, I never see games that do well when they compete on a release day for Call of Duty. And we have two games coming out. One, I would say, isn't really a competitor, and then one that is. Medieval is a remaster or a remake of the game Medieval way back on the PlayStation 1, I believe. That's coming out also on October 5th. I would keep your eye out on that. That's probably not a day one purchase in my eyes. I mean, it's probably, let me see. I don't know if it's coming to the Switch or not. I would probably wait. It's coming out only for the PS4, so it's exclusive. It might come to the Switch after a year like Spyro and Crash. But if you hadn't played Medieval before, it's a pretty good game. It's I would say it's kind of in the same realm as Spyro. And kind of like that. I would check that out. And then another game that I'm super interested in, but it is coming out on the same day as Call of Duty, which I'm worried about, is Outer Worlds. Have you guys seen anything about Outer Worlds?
Mm-mm.
So,
No.
Outer Worlds is this game where the human race has traveled throughout a certain amount of the universe or so, and the outer worlds have been conquered by corporations and all that kind of stuff. It's very neon, it's very Fallout kind of feeling, but it looks good. I have it. It's going on Xbox Game Pass, so I'm not going to have to really pay for it per se, so I'm going to get it. But yeah, I would definitely check that one out if you're not going to get Call of Duty, because I already know how much time I was watching the beta today and how many unlockables there are for each weapon, Zach. We're going to be playing forever.
That's true.
But I probably will be playing Outer Worlds probably whenever Zach's not on, because I'm going to be one of those people who's like, I can only play with my duo partner.
I just looked it up and it says that I guess it's made by Obsidian, and it says that they're hoping to eliminate the studio's reputation of buggy releases with Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I'm not sure what other games they've released that were buggy. You might be able to look that up, but
Looks like they've made Fallout New Vegas.
a lot of
So,
people
probably
loved
that.
New Vegas, but that was buggy whenever it first came out. Yeah, so it's probably in the same realm as New Vegas. Dude, I personally feel like I should hand off this next announcement to Josh because this would probably be the one on the list he's the most excited for. Josh, do you want to talk about what's coming out October 29th?
So this is actually news to me, but Super Monkey Ball?
Super Monkey Ball. It's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC October 29th. Wow. How does that make you feel?
Very excited.
I'm super excited, dude. I can't wait. You got to get it. You got to get it for your Switch, and I'll get it for my Switch, and then we can play all the mini games that they'll hopefully have.
Absolutely.
Zach, did you ever play Super Monkey Ball?
I have, but honestly, not as much as I probably should have.
Yeah, dude. You were probably bad. It's fine. You're talking to two pro monkey ballers.
I definitely have to get up to both of your standards.
Yeah. We might have to just do a live stream of us playing Super Monkey Ball. Just Hooligan Radio
maybe.
plays Super Monkey Ball whenever it comes out. We might be able to pull that off in my new studio.
I'm in.
Then after that, another heavy hitter for the Switch. I don't give a fuck what people gotta say. Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out. They are literally talking about how this thing, it's a hotel actually. And every floor has a different theme. They're talking about there's an ancient Egypt theme, there's an underwater theme, there's like all this other kind of crazy shit. And it drops on Halloween.
Ooh.
My guy. That is going to be so good. Are you guys a Luigi Mansion fan?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say big Luigi Mansion fan.
It's a good one.
I honestly can't wait for this one.
Just replayed a little bit of the first one a little while ago on my GameCube. Maybe I'll go back and try to beat it before this one comes out. But I've never heard of or played Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 2 kind of flopped, I guess.
Was it a DS game? Was it a DS game?
I think it was a 3DS game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I got out of the game at Advance SP.
Yeah.
That was my last mobile.
Sometimes the SP, bro, that was a good one. And then that's all for October. What's your standout game for October, guys? What's the one?
Super Monkey Ball.
Is it not? How can it not be Modern Warfare though?
That's what I'm saying. How could it? I'm gonna be so torn. I'm gonna literally have 4 days with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then get Super Monkey Ball and just be like playing Super Monkey Ball in between rounds of Call of Duty with Zach. It's going to be a gamer's October for me, dude. I'm going to be. Whew.
Maybe I haven't paid attention enough, but I mean I know Modern Warfare. Obviously, I know what it is, but it's like. I mean, what's new about it or what's exciting, compared to the past Call of Duty games like that they've announced so far, like gameplay-wise?
They're losing all that bullshit. All those bullshit-ass bullshit out here, bro. They're going back to the good old guns and running around bullshit that Call of Duty did well.
Didn't they claim to do that with World War II?
Yeah, but that game was okay.
That game was literally broken upon release. It didn't work until Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, they did claim to do that. I think that was a different team, though. Because there's 3 teams that work on Call of Duty. One of those teams has dropped out recently, and then this one is going to be... This has the potential to be the last good quotation marks Call of Duty game, because now they're only going to have 1 year in between games they have to release instead of 2. Yeah, so we'll see. I am very excited though. The 2v2 mode is what I've been waiting for. I'm a big fan of like the small things, but I don't really want to have to fucking literally organize 2v2 matches every time I want to play them. So it'll be good times with Zach and I at the helm, leading Hooligan Radio into the limelight. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of good games right there at the end of October, with Luigi's Mansion also being right there 2 days after Super Monkey Ball. Whew, it's going to be tough. All right, now we're getting into November. There's a few good games here. Some of them I'm interested in, some of them I'm not. So here we go. Death Stranding, November 8th. Allegedly. I don't know if it's going to get pushed back. These games, so the ones that I've talked about so far are probably not going to get pushed back. They're too close to the release to push them anymore. If they do get pushed, then I would be very sus on buying them whenever they do come out. But these games, they could potentially move once we get into the beginning of October. So just be aware. Death Stranding, November 8th. Are you guys interested in Death Stranding? This is the Hideo Kojima guy with the crossbow from Walking Dead. There's a bunch of other celebrity cameos in it and shit like that. Cameos in it. Are you guys?
I was going to say camos.
Yeah, dude.
I am, but I'm worried it's going to take up my entire PS4 hard drive.
I don't know if I'm actually interested in this game or not. I feel like this is something I'll probably have to wait on.
Yeah. They haven't really showed how like the combat works or plays. Yeah, so I might check out like just the beginning of the game on Twitch whenever it like first comes out, and then at that point I'll deem if I'm going to get it or not. But I would prepare yourself, if you're going to get it, to be very ready to watch a lot of cutscenes. It's what Hideo Kojima does best. He's like a movie director, where if you could direct movies interactively. So yeah. I would be very aware that that's going to happen. The next one, dude, every time I see more and more about it, I get even further away from wanting to buy it. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield, November 15th. Every time they talk about it, more and more people will have something that they don't like about it. I think I have to get it. It's just like the gamer in me is like, dude, get it. Even if you don't beat the Elite Four or whatever, at least you got the new Pokemon game on your Switch, and you can trade with your nephews or nieces or anything like that if they ever want to trade and stuff like that. So that's really why I'm probably gonna pick it up. It's not a fucking Super Monkey Ball, bro, or a fucking Luigi's Mansion on this list, but it's in there. This was supposed to be like a super Switch seller, I think. That's why it's like right in there, right before the Black Friday and all that other good shit right there. So I would check that out. Are you guys interested in Pokemon Sword or Shield?
Another game to say, it's hard to say that you're not interested in it.
I'm still getting over the disappointment of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, so no, I'm not getting this.
Oof, sticking it to the man. All right, another game coming out that day. Very, very interesting to me. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, November 15th. It's dropping for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. This is the one that they showed at E3 with the actual, like, the actor who's the main character is the guy from Shameless, and I don't know his name. But I could tell you if I really looked hard enough. And I won't. From what I've heard, this game is actually going to be hard to play. It's not going to be like, what's it called? The Force Unleashed, where you kind of hack and slash your way through, and it's really cool and all that kind of stuff. It's going to play more, and I hate the comparison, but I always got to do it. It's going to play more like a Dark Souls, where you have to time your combat, and where if they hit you, it actually fucking hurts. And shit like that, where it's like you can't take 20 hits before you die. But some of the Force stuff that you could do in it looks crazy. There was like a thing where you could like Force turn around the lasers and just like fucking kill people with it. I would highly recommend watching the trailers and the gameplay from this. It could be very good, but you know how it goes, man. Whenever it comes to shit coming from EA, it might break your little heart. But the little child within EA that does amazing work is Respawn. They're the one who gave us Apex, and they're the ones who are giving us this game. So I would say that still deserves to be on the radar. Possibly, it doesn't sound like there's going to be a multiplayer or anything to miss out on. If you can stay away from spoilers, if that's what you're worried about. The Star Wars canon spoilers. I don't even know if they're canon. You might want to pick this up at a later date. But I would say still keep that on your radar, see what the reviews are and all that kind of stuff. Have you guys seen anything on Fallen Order?
Not much.
I haven't. The person you were thinking of, though, is Cameron Monaghan. I think he plays Ian in Shameless.
Yes.
But this is definitely Star Wars. Actually, I've been waiting for a good Star Wars game, so this would be like Zach said for me. This would be the one that I'll wait and see what the reviews say. Might buy it, used or when the price comes down the line.
Yeah, this is going to be a single-player story game, I think, is like the whole selling point of it, because everybody thought EA was like, no single-player story games. They don't make money after the first time they come out.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I mean, there was a news article that GameStop closed 200 stores this week, so like, where are you really going to rebuy these games from anymore? And lastly, this game series never really piques my interest, and I've played one before, but Doom Eternal comes out November 22nd. Are you guys interested in the Doom series?
Not really.
Yeah.
They made a movie once and it starred The Rock.
Holy shit, that might be the most interesting part for me.
Is The Rock in Doom Eternal?
I wish. That was
I don't think so.
insane.
Damn.
Yeah, so same old Doom. I don't know what's changed about it because I couldn't tell you. It hasn't interested me ever, but I know that there's a lot of people who love the Doom series. Some of you might even be listeners. I feel like Doom is actually for the generation before us. So that could be why it's still thriving. It's like the people who are 10 years older than us or such.
Yeah. It was like an NES type game, I feel like.
Yeah, and that's coming out all over the place. And by that, I mean it's coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC. So literally all over the place. Two games that I really wish that were coming out this year, and I think that they're supposed to. They just haven't been announced. That's normally how it goes. Whenever you get hooked into these indie titles, they don't give you release dates at the beginning of the year because they're not a massive corporation where they have to do it for quarterly earnings and all that kind of shit. But Hollow Knight, Silk Song, this is, I believe, the second installment. It could potentially be an expansion, but I think that it's actually the second installment in the Hollow Knight series. Have either of you guys played Hollow Knight?
No.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I have.
It's what they call a Metroidvania, where you have to like go through and you find new abilities, and those new abilities let you get to other places in the map and all that kind of stuff. Hollow Knight, probably one of the best indie games I've ever played, top 2 at least. Maybe top 3, I would say. Maybe. I'd have to consider all of the indie games I've ever played. And that's going to be coming out. Let me see what that comes out on. That's coming out for Switch and PC. Like I said, the date has yet to be determined. So whenever we get that date, I will be in the news section of this podcast telling everybody it's coming out, and then probably going to come out on the same day as Call of Duty, because why not just fuck me right up? And then the other thing that I'm super interested in, and they're supposed to come out this year, but we don't know yet, is Man-Eater. I've talked about Man-Eater, I think, not the last episode, but the one before it. Man-Eater is the shark simulator where you swim around and you eat people and you do all that crazy shit. It's like GTA, but you're a shark. That is supposed to come out this year. It hasn't been announced, so those are my 2 games on the radar that I'm hoping to come out. Some other honorable mentions that I didn't know were supposed to come out could be potentially interesting. I see here there is a Marvel's Iron Man VR for PlayStation VR, so that could be very interesting. There's a Narcos game called Narcos: Rise of the Cartels. Don't think that one's going to be any good.
The fuck is that?
The One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows game. That's the One Punch Man fighting game, is supposed to come out this year, but it hasn't been announced yet. And that's really it for me.
That is not it. There's one more game I'm surprised you have not brought up yet. I don't know if it's been announced yet, though.
What?
So supposedly Warcraft 3 should be launching in 2019.
Warcraft 3. Isn't Warcraft 3 a RTS game, or is that a fucking...
Yeah, it's essentially a strategy game. It's weirdly where Warcraft started, and then it just became what Warcraft and World of Warcraft is today.
Yeah, that doesn't tickle my fancy like it does you. The word Warcraft
it tickles me.
Doesn't make my blood boil like yours. But I thought what you were gonna say is Battletoads is also supposed to come out this year. And
Oh, that's so great.
they haven't announced a date for that yet either. So, we ran down the list here for what's coming in the fall, and I mean, you heard how many games I named and how many. Every one of the games I've named, I'm probably gonna end up buying because I'm a monster. And now you understand why in the fall I get those text messages, and I know when it's fall. So, is there any game that I named here that you are really excited for that isn't Call of Duty? Or Super Monkey Ball?
Or Super Monkey Ball.
I'm actually pretty excited for Gears 5. I know it's technically already come out, but because I've heard so many good things, I think if it continues to get, good word of mouth moving forward, I might have to get it.
Oddly enough, I think for me, it is going to be the Untitled Goose Game. Because I love these small little indie games that are just so weird but so entertaining at the same time. And I think that's exactly what this is going to be.
Yeah, I'm very interested for when the Untitled Goose Game comes out. I come down into my basement with like some soup or some cocoa on the weekend, and I'm just like, I'm about to fucking goose it some people right now.
Right?
I'm very interested because I know, like, with a game like that, with the indie games like that, they always have the most ridiculous Easter eggs. And it's just going to be like, if you fucking balk at a car, it like balks back at you or some crazy dumb shit. I'm very excited for the Goose Game.
And then also for me, like I said, the Star Wars game, if that comes out and gets good word of mouth, that'll be one I look forward to also.
Yeah, the Star Wars game, if you guys haven't watched the gameplay on that, I highly recommend you watch it. It looks crazy. But, like I said, with a grain of salt, because it's EA, and we have to consider that they've burned us a million times. They own one of the most popular IPs for video games, and they keep fucking us with it. So
True.
Is there anything else that you guys potentially want to hear an update about? Is there any game that you're like, oh, I wish I would have heard about it? I think I pretty much nailed them all.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything that I can think of.
Yeah, I'm going to do my research and look more into Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I guess I'm not as excited as I should be, so I'm going to dig into that.
Yeah, you better get hyped, bro. You better get hyped. Yeah, so that's it for that. We'd like to thank, is that where we're at now? Are we thanking people?
We're thanking them.
All right. We'd like to thank our friends in the American Spirits for the use of their song ADHD at the beginning and end of this podcast. Zach, who would you like to thank?
I would like to thank you, the listeners, for listening to us. Without you guys actually coming here every week to listen to our thoughts and our opinions, we wouldn't be doing this. So we have to thank you for that.
And what about you, Josh? Who do you want to thank?
I would like to thank our friend Surburger for his See It, Play It, Skip It theme and the other sound bites he has made for us.
And I would like to thank, again, you guys for joining me on this podcast. It was a wonderful ride through all of the money I'm going to spend in the next coming months. Where can we find you two on the internet? I'm so thankful. I just want people to follow you.
Find me at Zach the Pigeon on Twitter. Instagram, slightly closer every single day. Let you know when it's there.
You can find me, Josh Hooligan R, Twitter and Instagram, and Josh Martin 7 on Letterboxd. Also check out Hooligan Radio's brother podcast, Hot Takes on the Lake. It's a sports podcast focused on the Cleveland Browns, but we talk all about the NFL every Tuesday and Thursday.
Hot Takes on the Lake. Hot Takes on the Lake. All right. You can find me making my graceful entrance back into social media this week at PHP_I Slaya. I got my Instagram back today. I haven't posted yet. I gotta make the perfect post for coming back, right? So I'm working on that. That might be out by the time this episode comes out. I might wait till the episode comes out and kind of throw all that hype train in there. I'll probably get my Twitter back maybe next week, maybe the week of our friend's bachelor party, so I can tweet out some shenanigans that we're getting into. So follow me there. I think that my handle on both is the same. It might be time for a change. Might have to drop that PHP and get that HR in there. Am I right?
I like it. Love it.
Absolutely. But people are going to think you just work in HR.
True facts. Maybe I gotta just put Hool. Hool.
There we go. You're about to vomit.
So, I just want to say you can tweet at us at is it hooligan.radio on Twitter?
Hooligan_radio on Twitter.
Twitter.
Hooligan.radio on Instagram.
I'll get it eventually once I'm back in that social media grind. You can email us at hooliganradio23 at Gmail for any of your, if you want to join us as a guest, if you want to thank us for being there whenever you needed us, if you want to advertise with us, whatever you need, if you want to get a hold of us, that email is a direct line to my pocket. Mine. I bet you it's a direct line to Josh's pocket. But I wouldn't bet that it's a direct line to Zach's pocket. He's the worst.
It ain't.
And Zach, here comes your cue. Are you ready?
Bye.
ADHD sounds driving me crazy. I don't wanna take this. You're gonna have to make me. ADHD, I don't wanna take this. I feel out of place lately. Lord, take me.
It's hosting season. And this hosting season, you can enter eligible New York Lottery draw game tickets with Collect and Win for a chance to win a $5,000 gift card to use at the Home Depot. So, enter today and make one of the most stressful times of the year a little easier.
The Home Depot is not a sponsor of this promotion. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 or older to purchase a quick draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly. Entered by 1/7/20.
We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.